Okay, let's do it. So this is the project file. Dang, I feel like a professional going through this. Okay, let's see. I started this song. It was a while back, and I think I just wanted to make something trappy and interesting, and I had done a sound design session. I do some sound design sessions sometimes on Twitch, sometimes not, where I made the bass line, and yeah, so I think the first interesting thing is that the tempo's at 120, and I can just show you real quick how lazy I am. If I go, just don't close this for now. Someone is blowing up my Instagram. Stop it. If I go into my template, don't close, I will show you that that's the BPM that it starts at. So it's a 120 BPM track, and I started it at 120 because it just kept it there. And now my computer hates me, but so yeah, 120 beats per minute. I don't know if we're in C major. My guess is that we're not. I honestly don't even know what the chord progressions could be. I don't know if I wrote a note on it. I didn't even write a note on it. It's probably just whatever this bass is, whatever note that bass is. But yeah, put it into record box. You'll find the key, no problem. Okay. So I guess we can start with the kick drum. We'll start with drums. This is the kick drum. I've got, looks like 2 different kick drums. The first for the verses. So that's just a simple, nothing too crazy there. I've cut out a lot of the highs because I didn't want it to be super clicky. It's a little too clicky, so I just chopped that out and ducked 300 hertz a little bit. And I took a lot of the sub out because this is playing along with the 808. So the 808 is carrying all the low end there. So this is just a nice punchy kick. That's where I got it from. If we go down into the drop kicks, we've got a little bit of like a sweep into. So that one's a lot more hefty, a lot more low end. Looks like there's 2 layers here. I'm trying to remember what I even did. So the sweep, I think I just reversed the sweep and it's nice and distorted. Nice and distorted. That's just a sample that I have fading it in. This kick drum, I think, is the main one. And it might be one of my own samples. Kicks. We have one that's called The Best One. My guess is that we do. Here it is. It doesn't sound like very good though. But that's the kick drum. So this is, if we look at the spectrum here, a lot of clicky high end and not too much sub. It's really peaking around like 70, which is nice. And then I think this is probably just a layer to get some like 200 hertz in, would be my guess. Yeah. Just a little flavor on top. Let me solo that again. And without it. So nothing too crazy in the kick drum tracks. Again, the same kick for the second verse is over here. I use it for the build up. It probably gets some sort of a high cut over time. Yep, at the end here. So into the second build up, I just take the low end and get rid of all that. Cool. And then yeah, back into the normal kick again. On the group, it's literally just gain, so I'm not doing any sort of compression or anything on the kick drum. That's literally it. yeah, so that's pretty much it for the kick. If we go into the snare, we've got a little bit more going on. So sort of similar sort of thing. There's one snare for the verses, and then there's a completely different snare for the drops. So if we play it, let's play them together. So this is a nice, that's I think a sample loop, but this is really, really nice and trappy. And then I've got Ikali's fill use me before snares, which is super helpful. So you get that nice little sweep in. I'll just solo that. Just a nice little sweep in to give it some every other. And then I think for the drop, I use it on every single one. And the drop is my own snare. That's probably just a sample rip. But we've got, that's really nice, really fat. Looks like there's a little bit of EQ taking out the low end, and I really wanted it to smack, so I actually boosted a little bit of the 200 hertz. So we solo that. That knock, I wanted that to knock. And then I had a limiter on it, but I took it off because it's clipping, and that's fine, whatever. Kick's being weird. Oh, this is muted, that's why. That's actually probably a mistake. I should have had that kick not muted, but whatever. You live in the bird. That is pretty much it. And then on the chain, we've got our friend Neutron 2. So I probably just used the track assistant and then modified it a little bit. So we've got another EQ that's taking out a little bit of high end shine, but then yeah, some more boosts kind of in the low end to make it really smack. The exciter, which isn't doing too much, just on the high end here. So really nothing crazy. Oh, and then there is no compression. No compression. So again, this is just going straight out. I'm not compressing anything. Pretty simple. Gain. And then I have this lovely plug-in Roth Air. I got this a long time ago, but it adds shine to like 10K and above. And let's see what it sounds like without it. Do an A/B. You hear all that psst, the psst. That's what's getting added by this. That kind of stuff. That's pretty much it. Very basic kick and snare pattern. In the drops even. It's just kick, 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 kick. You know what I mean? Like, but you get that trap bounce. So nothing too crazy. Let's get into the fun stuff. Look at all of these percussion tracks. Let's start, I guess we'll just start from, we can just kind of add elements as they go. So we'll just solo all this. So this is probably a highlight of the percussion. I'm pretty sure this is a techno loop that I got from Splice. So I'm just taking a little bit of the low end out. Let's see what key this is in. So this is A flat minor, and I pitched it up 1, which means it's at A minor, which means the relative major key would be 3 above A. 1, 2, 3. Maybe it isn't C major, whatever. So that's pretty fun. I've got the exciter, a little bit of high end. That's just boring. Sounds much better. And then my favorite, audio imaging. Woohoo! That's floating around your head, so this just pans it left to right. Pretty sure I got that plugin for free. So that's a good one. What else? Gotta have the trap, like, you know what I mean? These are fun. What I like to do is take, so actually, let me back up even further. This track I'm remembering now. The initial purpose of this track, or the goal of this track, was I was getting really into techno, not listening to it, but I was downloading a lot of their samples. And I thought it would be cool to combine techno and trap music because they're at similar BPM, so they can be. Like, I like the slower 125, 130 stuff, which is what this song is. And I wanted to combine techno samples into a trap beat, so that's why it's called Techno Trials 1.0. I haven't even named it Restless. But what I like to do is throw Isotope Portal on the master. So I would literally throw Portal over here and then just mess around with it, and you can get really interesting sounds like this guy. So you just kind of sprinkle those in every once in a while, and you get some sort of right on the snare. A little like, you feel me? Okay, let's see what else we got. So there's this guy, another techno loop. That one's cool. I got a little bit of ducking going on. Oh, I don't want to turn it off. I wanted to open it. That's what it sounds normally. And then I just put this sort of volume shape. Just kind of like tames it a little bit more. And then this one's also floating around our heads. Right? A little bit of high end. Take out the muddy 200 hertz range. So that's fun. And then we basically add to the hi-hats pattern in the second half of the verse. This one's intense. These are probably, I haven't even pushed these off the grid at all, which is something I do a lot more now. But what I do is I'll go like this and just go delay by this many ticks, and it gives a little bit more swing usually. But we'll leave it as is for now. Looks like that's it. Build up, not much going on here. It's mostly vocals and a respace, and then we've got another techno loop. Literally nothing happening on this one. Should have taken out the low end, but whatever. Cool. And then we get into the fun stuff. Okay, so the first main kick gets a nice, this guy right here. So this is by our friend Oversampled. Check out his YouTube page. So there's a lot going on here. Let's see what I'm automating. Direction and volume. So this is a sample I took from him. I kind of cut it up a little bit. I wanted to leave all the low end. Let's go to the actual track, huh? Wanted to leave the, but it just sounds killer as a first, and then the kick comes in right there. But I'm automating the spread of the direction, so this is just making it wider over time. So it's kind of like getting wider and stuff over time. So that's a really good one. A lot of sample-based stuff. This is a loop, it looks like. Got that bass in the percussion chain, whatever. There's a nice little couple snares and then some white noise. Just straight up, not messing around. Added the white noise for a little bit more high end. Nice and choppy. What's this guy? Nice little swoosh. Again, it gets wider at the end, so it goes whoosh like that. What else? This has got a nice swing to it right here. Gives you that like trap bounce. Subtronic sample. Shocker. I think I do a little bit of reverb automation. So it gets a kind of like sweep. Let's just solo this. So if I turn the reverb off, it ends like that, but with it on, you get like right into the next. I think it's like probably like a kick or something like that. Yeah, right into the next kick. So it sweeps up into that kick. There's a laser sample here, right there. It's just a shout. Throw in a hi-hat loop. So this one's delayed 7 ticks, so that's what I was talking about there. I love putting flanger on the hi-hat loop. This one's actually not even moving. Sometimes if you move it, it sounds really cool. So that just adds a little bit of flavor. And then again, it's just, you know, I'm a man. I find something that works and I use it. And I like to do, for hi-hat loops, I like to do like dotted or triplet time signatures. So when it's panning, like otherwise the same hats would be hitting in the same like location left and right. So I like to just do it like sort of irregular panning rate. So you can see that like it's really just like, and I can actually probably show you. So let's silence this. Solo, not silence. Look at how it's moving. It's all over the place, and that's what I wanted. Let's get just this back. Beautiful. Probably one of my favorite sounds in the entire song. This is a sample, so let's see what it sounds like without anything. So we've cut out the low end, and this goes on into the second verse where it's just, I'll play it. It's just the vocals and this. Hiding in the darkness. So scary. So anyways, back to this. We beef it up a little bit with the overdrive. Beautiful plugin. What is Serum Effects doing? Comb filter. We love the comb filter on Serum Effects. It's not adding too much, just a little bit of character again, but this, if there's one tip you take from this breakdown, it's to use Serum Effects, especially if you want a gnarly OTT, and you can use every single one of their filters, the classic reverb, combs, any filter you can use. You can't like see it, but if you use the comb filters, especially for like trappy sort of metallic sounding things, comb plus and comb minus are great for that. I learned that from Gurf. Shout out Gurf. He did a track breakdown with Run It, and that's just I never would have thought to use the filters here, but anyways. This tells me the key of it. Then I got reverb. that reverb. This is one of my favorite reverbs. I don't use it for a lot of things, but it's simple. It can decay forever. Mix and a low cut, basically all you need. Super easy. Direction mixer is just pushing it a little bit wider, and then again I'm cutting out the low end because I added a little bit with the overdrive, and there was a resonant frequency there. But this is like one of my favorite sounds in the entire song for sure. Cool. So I think we got a similar sort of thing going on. You know, similar stuff, buildups. If we go into, obviously this buildup has got snares. So there's these two beautiful Virtual Riot and some other cinematic snare, it looks like. Sure, a really nice switch up. A really nice switch up into the second drop. It's the first and second drops are similar. Just a little bit of like a whoa, what's going on here sort of thing. So again, just dragging the samples in. Nothing too crazy. I've got Decapitator, another favorite distortion plugin, driving the crap out of it. And the mid driver preset, and then this is just a snare and a little bit of excitement. That's dull and boring. That's less dull and less boring. So similar sort of thing there. Nothing too crazy. You know, right back into the same pattern. Same thing for the second drop. And you got the nice laser hit there. Okay, that basically sums it up on the percussion side of things. So let's move into just the 808. So this is the fun stuff. Not just the 808. Okay, this is a Quicks sample. If you haven't noticed by now, I use a lot of samples. So this is an 808 from Quicks. Let's see if we can find the original. I think it's a little bit, I think I cut lows, I bounced it and everything. Maybe here we go. Yep, it's just a quick sample, and then there's this other sample that I'll show you in a second. But yeah, let's see if we can find it. Quicks. Let's find 808. Is it this one? Yep, that's it. Again, nothing too crazy. I just low cut it a little. It's got a beautiful sub region. Look at that. Oh, a little bit of resonance. No big deal. What's going on up here? Can you hear it? This is like a distorted version of that, basically. A little slide, nothing crazy. I think it's just pan automation here. So that's going a little bit side to side, like nothing too crazy. Just a little bit of variety. The little stuff matters, you know. The little stuff matters. And this pattern continues for the whole time. Okay, let's get into the fun stuff. Okay, let's go over the main bass. So there's 3 layers to it. Let's just play these 3 layers. This is the bulk of the drop right here, the main element. So we've got the Quicks bass again. Literally nothing's changed. except I'm ducking out a lot of the resonant part, so I'm mostly just using this for a sub. Basically what it's using it for. That is my sub. Then we've got the tension bass, our favorite tension bass. And this is, let me just show you. This is an instrument that I made in a plugin called Sculpture, which is a Logic native plugin. Gotta solo it. So it simulates some sort of like a stringed instrument, and then basically I just distort it. Decapitator, OTT, a little bit of throaty or slash EQs, a lot of highs. So that's basically it. This body EQ thing is what's doing most of the work here. It's creating a lot of the sound. So that's that bass, and it's just one note, so nothing too crazy. And I've had all that processing on it, and then I added the sub. So that's really, really nasty. So I cut the subs because I already got my sub down here, the previous one. A little bit of harshness on the 3K to 4K. I compress it, just tame it a little bit. I want it nice and flat and even. And then this is taking out a couple resonant frequencies. Don't like that. And then this guy, yeah, you can go away too. And that's it. You can see by the waveforms they're like a little bit different for each one, which is nice, so it's kind of cool. So together, those two, that's the bulk of the sound. You know what I mean? And then we just got some flavor up top. So this, I don't remember how I made it. Because it's probably got a some sort of a volume automation on it to give it that stutter. So this is actually what I did is I took this main bass and then just cut the sub out of it and then post-process the high end of it. So all of that resonant, not the sub region, but like the whatever 400, 500 hertz resonant stuff is just really distorted. I'm calming a little bit of that because I didn't like it too much. It's a little bit too harsh. Compressing. I go into meter. Nothing. Not really doing much else there. Cutting out all of the lows, and then our favorite Soothe 2 plugin, just taming it a little bit more. So then all together. And then there's a lot of reverb tail on this just to kind of fill it out. Okay. Let's hide everything that's not being used again. And then I've got my sub just filling in the spaces so it follows a little bit of some of the other bass lines. And then at the end of this first section of the drop, it goes terrified to see you, and it's just terrified to, and then back into the kick. Bum, 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 terrified to. So I just wanted a little sub there. The sub that I typically use is a combination of analog BD sine and basic shapes. This is really nice. I got this from Company because I think basically what happens is the saw or the square tooth waves adds a little bit of missing frequencies, so the sub isn't as clean. It's just a pure sine. And that's basically it, like a little bit of tube distortion. But again, it's being cut right here. So by itself, it sounds like it's just a little bit. Did I automate that? Yeah, I automated the pitch for this first one. See that? So nothing too crazy there, but that's included in the bass group. Let's see. Hiding in the darkness. You get a sort of a similar thing over here. Really not much difference. I've always wanted to make a song where the first and second drops can remain the same and it still sounds good, and I think I did it. Okay, going into other basses. So in the build-up. Woohoo! Let's take a look at this guy, huh? This is the beautiful Reese bass. So, I have this pack called DMS Classic Analog Waves, which is awesome. They're just kind of misshaped other things. So, not surprising here, you've got a sub, 2 saw waves, it's high cut, so it's sort of a classic Reese. Distortion. Let's just move all this to the top so I don't forget. So that's what it sounds like, and then we distort it. Compress it, EQ to cut out all those highs I didn't want, and a filter that's not being used. And then to get soft saturation in Logic, I have to go into this fat effects thing and just turned up some of the saturation here. A little beefier, and then the channel EQ is cutting out almost all of the 200 range because that's just muddiness I didn't want. And that's it for the Reese. Pretty straightforward. Let's go ahead and mute this guy again, hide it. There you go. Okay, and then we've got this, another Portal experiment, calling it Portal Poop. That's, again, similar thing like I told you earlier. It's basically me putting Portal on the master and finding cool stuff that I'm doing with it. So basically, I take, let me just show you how I do it. I'll take, where are we? Audio units, output, Portal. I pick a preset, and I go into here, and I drag this thing around like this for the entire song until cool stuff pops up. That's basically it. What can I say? This gets automated heavily left to right. See the pan automation. Nothing too crazy with that. Let's go and another oversampled glitch. That's the original sample. OTT to start it off. Distort it. Get rid of the low end. Direction mixer, is it being automated? Yep, the spread goes wider. And then, reverb throw. Nothing too crazy. Space Designer reverb throw. Automating the wet knob. So the reverb comes in at the end. This guy's fun. That's my sample, just a double, like, nothing too crazy again. And that's pretty much it. That's kind of like extra basses in the Reese and things like that. Oh, I missed a lot of stuff on the 808. Let's go back here. So this is all, I got a compressor on here. I don't know what I was using that for. Again, going back to the fat effects, so on the whole 808 chain, I've got about a little bit of soft saturation just to beef things up a little bit. The imager just shows me how everything's sitting. I actually pulled the low end down all the way, so everything below 140 basically is in mono, and then I bumped up the 5K region to 100% just to make it a little bit wider. And then Soothe 2 is doing very little, again just calming everything down, so that's the bus there. And then these two are my sidechain, so I sidechain them to the kick bus and the snare bus. Very quick sidechain. Very quick sidechain on this one, which is nice. Okay, I'll be right back. I gotta go pee. Okay. Alright, let's get back into it. Let's see if there's anything interesting. So I showed you those. Soothe 2, huge plugin, kind of expensive, but you know, it makes my life so much easier. Let's go into Glitchy. So shocker here, more oversampled samples. That's basically all this is. Okay, only in the drops too. The one other thing here is this respace gets the low end automated out of it. If you just listen. Bye bye, bye bye, right before the drop. Okay, so this is a lot of fun stuff right here. Woohoo! That stuff is fun, fun, fun. Just got straight up reverb on it. What's good? Cutting out all the low end, basically leaving everything else 2-second delay. Beautiful. So these are, again, just samples that I pulled. I went through his whole sample pack he gave us a while back, and you know, this is the stuff I found, and it sounded cool. This guy is sort of like a little sweep or something like that. So direction miss is going to, I wanted it right down the middle, and that, so if I go into here, right down the middle before that next sort of like snare pops in. It's at the same time as those snares, so that's kind of giving another layer of it too. Another just like short little, you know, nothing too crazy on that. And then this guy over here. It's a nice like kick. But again, just automating. I do a lot of stereo automation, I guess is what you could call it. And that's pretty similar between the two drops. This one stops early because we have those drums coming in. So let's re-solo everything up to this point. So this one stops here because we go that first drum hit right there. That's pretty much it for that. Gain and just an imager just to see where I'm at. Okay, let's get into the vocals. Everybody's favorite part. So, secrets out. These are a splice sample from Notel, and I DM'd her the other day and was like, yo, your vocal is in my song and it's amazing. Let's find it. Too Far Gone. I downloaded a lot of them because I wanted it to be consistent.
I'm terrified to see you.
Here you go.
Hiding in the darkness.
This is literally it.
Colder when it's twilight. And I've been feeling restless. Can you see me breathing?
She got harmonies, she's got it all.
Here without you.
Easily one of the best vocal packs I've ever seen on Splice. So there's a lot going on here. And I don't really even know. Oh, this will be a good opportunity to figure out what key it's in. So this says F minor, and we're going down 3 semitones. So that means we are at 1, 2, 3. We are in the key of D. D minor.
I'm terrified to see you.
Alright, let's just go one at a time because I don't even know what all of these are. Don't solo this one.
I'm terrified to see you.
So this is the main layer.
Hiding in the darkness.
Okay, I don't even know if I did anything besides lower the pitch. There's some volume automation. I wanted to tame the
I'm terrified to see you.
let's go like this.
I'm terrified to see you. Hiding in the dark.
But let me, before we do this, let me take all of the group processing off.
I'm terrified to see you. Hiding in the darkness. Colder when it's twilight. And I've been feeling restless.
There's the second half of the
Can
verse.
you see me breathing?
Also, Restless is where I got the name. Shocker. So, similar thing going into the second verse. Okay. What else do we got here? Let's keep it in this first section. I think this is a harmony.
I'm terrified to see you. Hiding in the darkness.
Dark. Yeah.
Colder when it's twilight.
Also wet. Same thing here, probably.
Feeling restless.
This is getting very much spread on the high. I'll probably do the same thing here. Exact same thing. So the harmonies, you have a crossover, so everything below is getting centered, everything high is going wide. And then...
Can you see me breathing?
Yep.
Standing here without you. And I can see it's midnight.
Nothing crazy. She gave me these harmonies. Shout out to her. Okay. What else do we got going on? There's these lovely... Let's just drag all this stuff up so we can kind of organize it. Okay, so here's some like vocal cuts.
Hiding in the darkness. Colder when it's twilight. And I've been feeling restless.
No processing.
Can you see me breathing? Standing here without you. I can see it's midnight. Can I live without you?
Nothing too crazy. Little fade in.
I'm terrified to see you.
So this is probably taking the U and then bouncing it with reverb and then nothing too crazy.
Darkness.
Or it's a sample. Could be a sample too. What's this?
I'm terrified to see
Even lower.
Hiding in the darkness.
Just taking subs out.
Colder when it's twilight.
And another one over here, I'm assuming.
Can you see me breathing?
Oh, so that's this harmony. So these are the same harmony right here, these two.
I'm terrified to see you.
And then for the second verse,
Can you see me breathing?
it's the same notes. Cool. What else? So we've gotten down to here. What is this guy? This, I think, is my favorite one.
Colder when it's twilight. I've been feeling right. I can see it's midnight. And can I live with
So this chain right here, we have Pitch Monster. So what I'm doing here, if I turn this off, Chord Vocode, you can load any chord you want and add notes that you want this to play. So this is your classic like vocoded. And then I just automate the volume down because I wanted it to act like a delay. And then if we go into the second verse, let's just solo everything up to here. If we go into the second verse, don't worry, the bus processing is not on right now. Start playing over here. Why are you doing that?
terrified to see you.
I have this playing.
Hiding in the dark.
It's kind of a bad.
Terrified to see you. Hiding in the darkness.
That goes over the entire start of that second verse, so it's kind of like an interesting sort of play. Into the second verse, another reverb throw, taking the right here, putting reverb on it, reversing it.
Gone, I see it too far gone, I'm screaming.
This should probably be like this. That sounds bad.
I'm bleeding too far. I'm bleeding too far gone, I see.
So I did put like a little bit of little altar boy. That's one of the sort of classic, how do I call it? Uses, very commonly used to do format shifting. So that's that. And I think there's just a little bit more stuff in the drops. We have the Terrified to See. Woohoo! That's a good one. So this guy pitched way down with OTT. I promise you on that one. That one is low cut with a lot of, I don't think I hit any tracks, with a lot of distortion, or sorry, high cut with a lot of distortion. And then this one is just sort of a normal, like very OTT'd. So we got a low, high, and a normal. And we have like a you take the fade here and you go slow down, and that gives you like the tape stomp effect. And then a similar thing, no problem, no problem. And then at the end here we just have a terrified to see you to end right at the end of the second drop. So let's go into the group processing, because this is where it gets crazy. Okay, effect rack. If you download the Sound Toys bundle, or sometimes they have sales on this, they will give you every plugin in one rack and a lot of dope presets. So this is a vocal slap, so a quick delay basically. Hiding in the darkness. It's just a really quick delay left and right. Hiding in the darkness. A gain knob, because it's too loud. Soothe. There's a lot of low end information in the 200s, so we're really taking care of that and calming that. Let's just put this up here. Let's see if we can find a place for this. Listen to that 200, like right here. I'll actually solo it for you. All that like, we're getting rid of that. Colder when it's twilight. This is what this plugin's getting rid of. I've been feeling restless. Or at least calming. Can you see me breathing? It's a beautiful plugin. Standing here without you. Then we've got our Roth plugin again. I can see it's you're starting to get a little bit more of the sibilance now. I'm terrified to see you. Sounds a lot better. And then I probably threw Nectar 3 on and did the track assistant and edited from there. So we got another EQ. I'm terrified to see you. And this is where the compression's coming in. Hiding in the darkness. The de-esser. Colder when it's twilight. Getting rid of that. Can you see me breathe? A little bit more of a boost after that, and then lots of compression. 8 dBs. I can see it's midnight. Pretty fast attack, pretty slow release, and a pretty high ratio. We're really slamming this thing. I'm bleeding too far gone. I see it too far gone. And a little bit of reverb. I'm screaming. Nothing too crazy. I'm bleeding too far gone. Probably a little bit of pre-delay. You hear those chords in the background again here? I'm bleeding too far gone. I see it too far gone. I'm screaming. And then we've got an imager just to see where we're sitting. Pretty forward. Again, another boost in like the 2 to 5K region, 2 to 10K. So you're able to control each band individually on how wide or shallow you want it, which is nice. And then multi-band compression, because why not? Single vocal enhancement. I'm bleeding too far gone. I see it too far gone. I'm screaming. I'm screaming. Sounds really good. Do we have any bus sends? I'm trying to see. I know I had a send for OTT one time, and I just didn't like the way that it sounded. Yeah, see, I had a send for OTT, but I didn't use it. And automation-wise, you have basically that effect rack, so that slap. gets taken out at the drops. The reverb mix on the Nectar Nectar reverb mix goes down on the drops as well. So when that terrified to hits, it hits without any reverb. It's nice and clean and loud. And that's pretty much it for the vocals. Looks like there's, yeah, I already talked about the automation. Okay, going into the effects, let's see what we got here. This is where I throw all like kind of my extra stuff. Just a ray gun with a tape delay on it. Tap delay. Here's a riser. I go from one octave to another. Now it's actually automated, so I'm pitching up 7 semitones with Pitch Monster. My risers always get a high cut and a volume increase. And then we have the kind of a, yep, nothing too crazy there. This one, I think is the one that goes, oh, maybe not. It's actually this one right here. See, I pitch it down to 40. And then you get the drop. This is a gasp. Some sweeps here. A little low riser, and then just those sweeps and things like that, you know, nothing too crazy, and the same things repeated over here, so not too much to discuss on this guy. Almost done here. Crazy. And for the instruments. I want to mute it. This beautiful pad. That's an OG pad from a sample that I made. It's just a sampler. If it's gonna open, maybe it's gonna crash. We'll see. So basically we've got a chord. This is a granular thing that I just pitched to a sampler, and it's got delay, chorus, and reverb on it. So it's a really beautiful sort of like, I named it Icy because it reminds me of Flume's, a sort of like Flume icy synth sound. So that's in the background there, and you'll hear it.
Hiding in the darkness, colder when it's twilight. I've been feeling restless.
Mr. Carmack synth. That's a sample.
Standing here without you, I can see it's me.
This is these chords here that get pitched down in terms of their compression and then up in terms of gain. So as that's going on, I've got a kick drum in here. Techno Kick, like I said, this was a techno thing, so I told you I just added reverb and some tremolo. That's not the most techno thing you've ever heard. Drench it in reverb. This is like a sort of interesting. That's all it is. Now it's sort of like this. That's basically it. We can go over my mastering chain now. So in terms of mix down, you have the vocals get nothing, no side chain. Really the only thing that's getting side chain is the 808 and some of the percussion. Very little in terms of like compression. If I talked about compression in any of the groups, we talked about it with each of those groups. So the mastering chain is as follows. Tube EQ with all the drive. We've got a little bit of a peak at 370, almost 3 dBs of peak. I don't know if I would do that now. A little bit of dip at 4K. That's just the way it was, and it worked. So, you know, very light compression. Just taming anything, letting all the transients go through, so a fast attack, fast release. Not taking into consideration any of the low end. We only want to compress up here. Just taming that out, soothe. Ozone 8, where we have an EQ giving a lot of the 200 region. Light on the imaging, boosts in the really high highs. Light on any sort of distortion. Again, I did a little bit of the low end, more on the low end. The warm on the low end is really, really nice. Light for compression again. Again, it's kind of a fast attack, but nothing too crazy. I love the dynamic EQ when you do the track assist. And then we just slam it into a limiter. That's a lot of limiting. Make sure I'm good. I don't remember what song, but you can load custom songs into this and just check to see where you are. Pretty good. -7 LUFS. And we're happy with it, and that's the song. So again, thank you for all the support. Make sure you go keep streaming it, add it to your playlists on Spotify, on Apple Music. Share it with your friends. This is really, really cool that the song is being received so well. And yeah, there'll be more live streams every Sunday at this time where I'm actually making music. And we'll see you guys again soon. So thanks for tuning in. Peace.